Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I have been catching up on my serial killers on this last weekend. Um, I basically had to move my Smurf village so I could clean it, and I needed something just to fill the time. So I thought I'll look for some documentaries, and I stumbled across a three-part series on some of the victims of John Wayne Gacy because they were still trying to find. I think they had seven that at one point hadn't been found, and they were sort of going through DNA and finding some of the men. And there was one which there was no way he was a Gacy victim, and they did find his body elsewhere, and he wasn't one of the victims. But it was really obvious that he wasn't. He was not the type. He was too old, and it was just kind of a bit sad watching these people going under this false assumption when you knew it wasn't him, and it wasn't, but it did cause them to find the body, so that was good. But it was very moving because a lot of documentaries and specials now are focusing more on the victims than the actual the murderers and the crimes, which, I mean, they still do, but it's not as salacious, and it's not. We had this 90s cult of celebrity surrounding sort of like serial killers for a while there. It was a bit unhealthy, but we seem to have a bit more of a more balanced approach to them with our popular culture at the moment. But certain shows like Versace and his murder, the Monster series with Jeffrey Dahmer, and that people are getting a bit more interested in serial killers. But something which I didn't realise were that there have been a couple of recent ones that I kind of missed. Because I've always sort of been interested in the classics, Gein, Gacy, Dahmer, the roadway killers or whatever they're called, the freeway killers. There's a bunch of them. I don't know all their names. I know about a lot of them, but I can't remember all their names. So they're not as big, they're not all as big as like Gacy and Dahmer and that. But there's two recent ones that I missed. One, I did actually see a special on him. His name was Colin, and he basically, for some reason, hated gay men and just decided to target them, and he wanted to be a serial killer. It was like he wanted to be a serial killer, it was an intention. And he went and killed just a bunch of gay men very brutally. He'd pick them up at clubs or at bars. He'd particularly go back to the same one, which was pretty daring considering they knew him, and he was like a regular, but he felt they gave him some protection, some cover. And yeah, he'd take guys home, and then he would pretend to rob them and then kill them. He'd tie them up, choke them, arrange their bodies in horrible ways, particularly the ones he found had HIV, because two of the ones that he killed had HIV and didn't tell him, because they went home, they took him home under the assumption of sex, of course. So, but he was never, apparently he was straight, and I think he was straight, he was never going to do anything, he just wanted to kill gay men. And he eventually, did he get caught or did he get himself caught? He wanted attention. He called the police several times and said, like, there's a house with a dead person in it, the cat hasn't been fed for days, he was like giving them clues. He wanted the attention, he wanted to be seen, wanted to be known. And he pled guilty and didn't protest anything, which undermined his whole status on some level, because a lot of these other serial killers, they usually fight and create the most ridiculous stories and cults behind them. He didn't do any of that. He went down pretty quietly. So that was him. I did see a documentary on him, but for some reason he didn't really resonate. I didn't really think of him in the same terms as like Gein and Gacy and all that, because it was kind of fake. It was like he wanted to be a serial killer, just wanted the attention.